Did you know your car's engine takes the biggest hit the moment you start it? Those crucial first seconds could be shaving years off its life, and you wouldn't even know it. Are you making costly mistakes every time you turn the key? Stick around because fixing them now could save you thousands in repairs later. Let's start with a mistake you've probably done at least once without even thinking about it, and trust me, your engine isn't happy about it. Mistake number 1. Restarting your car too soon after shutting it off. Turning off your engine and restarting it immediately is a hidden mistake that can wear out your starter, drain your battery, and even affect your fuel efficiency. Most cars aren't built for frequent restarts unless they have a stop-start system, so doing this repeatedly can lead to expensive repairs. Every time you start your car, the starter motor goes through a high-stress cycle. Frequent restarts, especially within short driving intervals, accelerate wear on its internal components. If you're constantly turning the engine off and on without giving it time to rest, you're cutting down its lifespan, meaning a costly replacement sooner than expected. And then there's the battery. Each restart drains power, and if your car hasn't been running long enough to recharge, you're slowly depleting its energy reserves. Over time, this leads to premature battery failure, forcing you into an expensive and avoidable replacement. Even your fuel efficiency takes a hit. While it's true that idling wastes fuel, modern cars are optimized to balance fuel consumption during startup. Restarting too often forces your car to recalibrate fuel injection, leading to inconsistent performance and unnecessary fuel use. So what's the fix? If you're stopping for a few seconds, don't shut the engine off. If you're parking, give your car at least 10 to 15 seconds after shutting it down before restarting. And if your car doesn't have an automatic start-stop system, avoid treating it like one. Your starter and battery will thank you. For the next one, let's just say if your car isn't recognizing you, maybe it's time to recognize the real problem. Mistake number 2. Don't start your car with low fuel. Letting your fuel tank run near empty isn't just risky, it's expensive. Running on low fuel can burn out your fuel pump, clog your fuel system, and even cause engine misfires. Ignore this mistake long enough, and you'll be looking at costly repairs that could have been easily avoided. Your fuel pump isn't just a delivery system, it relies on fuel to keep it cool and lubricated. When you drive on low fuel, the pump starts pulling in air instead of gasoline, causing it to overheat and wear out faster. A damaged fuel pump can set you back anywhere from $500 to $1,200, just because you didn't fill up sooner. And that's not the only problem. Fuel tanks accumulate dirt and debris over time, and when you're running low, your car starts pulling in that gunk. This can clog your fuel filter and injectors, making your car sluggish and less efficient. Keep ignoring it, and you'll end up with serious engine problems. Worse still, low fuel levels can cause your engine to misfire, especially if you're driving at high speeds. Misfires create unstable combustion, which can overheat your catalytic converter, one of the most expensive parts to replace. And if you run out of fuel completely, you could find yourself stranded in a dangerous spot, facing hefty fines in some regions for blocking traffic. The fix is simple. Don't wait for the low fuel light to come on. Make it a habit to refuel before you hit the last quarter of your tank. Some mistakes just make your car harder to start, others could land you in jail. Let's dive into one of the worst things you could ever try while starting your vehicle. Mistake number 3. Not fully pressing the clutch when starting. If you drive a manual, failing to fully press the clutch before starting your car is a small mistake with big consequences. It puts unnecessary strain on your car's components and, in some cases, can even cause dangerous unintended movement. Worse, this bad habit could cost you thousands in repairs down the road. If the transmission is in gear and you don't fully depress the clutch, the car can suddenly lurch forward or backward when you turn the key. This can lead to collisions, damage to nearby objects, or even injuries. Pedal misapplication contributes to thousands of accidents every year, and this simple mistake is part of the problem. Not pressing the clutch completely also forces your starter motor to work harder than it should. Instead of just turning the engine, it has to overcome resistance from the transmission, wearing it out faster and leading to costly repairs. Starter motor replacements aren't cheap, and avoiding this issue is as simple as pressing the pedal all the way down. And it's not just the starter, your entire transmission takes a hit. Bearings, gears, and other critical components experience unnecessary stress, leading to premature wear and expensive repairs. Many modern cars have clutch interlock switches to prevent this mistake, but if yours doesn't, it's up to you to form the habit. The fix: always press the clutch fully before starting your car. Even better, double-check that you're in neutral before turning the key. Mistake number 4. Don't overuse jump starting. Jump starting your car might seem like a quick fix, but doing it too often can wreck your battery, strain your alternator, and even damage your car's electronic systems. If your car keeps needing a jump, it's not a battery issue, it's a bigger problem that needs to be fixed before it costs you even more. Here's the real risk. Modern cars are loaded with sensitive electronics, and a single power surge from an improper jump start can fry critical systems like the engine control unit, ECU, power steering, and airbags. If your ECU gets hit, you're not just looking at a dead battery, you could end up replacing your alternator, fuel pump, or even the entire onboard computer. That's a repair bill you don't want. And it's not just your electronics at risk. Jump starting repeatedly forces your alternator to work overtime trying to recharge a depleted battery. Over time, this extra load can cause premature alternator failure, leaving you stranded with a car that won't start or charge. Worse, incorrect jump starting can even cause battery explosions, leading to serious injuries. 62% of reported battery explosion injuries involve chemical burns. Before we move on, if you're the kind of driver who likes to avoid costly mistakes, here's one you don't want to skip: hit that subscribe button. Think of it like a seatbelt for your wallet, keeping you protected from expensive repairs ahead. Mistake number 5. Never rev a cold engine. Revving your engine right after starting is one of the worst things you can do for your car. Cold oil doesn't lubricate properly, and your engine parts are running dry, causing extra wear and tear. Do this often, and you're setting yourself up for expensive repairs. When you start a cold engine, the oil is thick and hasn't fully circulated. That means metal parts are grinding against each other with minimal protection. Revving at this stage speeds up engine wear and can even lead to early failure. Instead, let the engine idle for at least 30 seconds so the oil can reach all components. But that's not all. Revving a cold engine forces rapid temperature changes, leading to uneven expansion of metal parts. This puts unnecessary stress on the pistons, cylinders, and gaskets, increasing the risk of cracks, leaks, or long-term damage. If you want your engine to last, drive smoothly and avoid hard acceleration until it warms up. Cold oil creates extra resistance, and revving too soon can damage your engine's bearings. These tiny parts prevent metal-on-metal friction, but without proper lubrication, they wear out fast, leading to costly engine rebuilds. So what's the fix? Simple. Don't touch the gas pedal when you start your car. Let it idle, drive gently, and wait for the engine to reach operating temperature before pushing it harder. Mistake number 6. Don't try to push start an automatic car. If your automatic car won't start, don't even think about push starting it. Unlike manual cars, automatics rely on hydraulic pressure to engage the gears. Without the engine running, that pressure doesn't exist. No matter how hard you push, it won't work. Worse, you could end up causing serious transmission damage. Automatic transmissions use a torque converter and a hydraulic pump to control gear engagement. When the engine is off, the pump isn't working, meaning the gears can't engage properly. Trying to force start an automatic like a manual can create unnecessary strain on internal components, leading to increased friction, overheating, and costly repairs. And it's not just the transmission at risk. Your torque converter, a critical part of your car's power transfer system, can also take a hit if subjected to improper forces. It can fail, leading to expensive repairs or even a full transmission replacement. So what's the right move? If your automatic won't start, jump start it with a working battery or call for roadside assistance. Ignoring the real issue and trying to force it to start will only lead to bigger problems. Stick to the right solutions, and you'll save yourself a hefty repair bill. Mistake number 7. Starting your car with a weak battery. If your car struggles to start, don't ignore it. Running on a weak battery is a costly mistake that can burn out your starter, overload your alternator, and even leave you stranded. Pushing your battery past its limits might get your car running today, but it's slowly killing essential components and racking up expensive repair bills. A weak battery forces your starter motor to work harder, leading to longer cranking times and overheating the starter. This way drastically shortens its lifespan, and once it fails, you're looking at an expensive replacement. Starter motors typically last between 30,000 and 60,000 cycles, but constant strain from a weak battery can cut that number in half. It doesn't stop there, your alternator takes a hit, too. When your battery struggles, the alternator has to work overtime to keep up, causing excessive wear and increasing the risk of failure. Replacing an alternator isn't cheap, and the added stress shortens its lifespan significantly. And here's something most drivers don't realize: a weak battery hurts fuel efficiency. A struggling electrical system forces your car to work harder, burning more fuel and driving up costs over time. Worse, a dying battery can lead to complete electrical failure, stalling your vehicle when you least expect it. The fix? Don't wait for your battery to die before replacing it. Get it tested regularly, especially before extreme weather hits. Avoid frequent short trips that prevent the battery from fully recharging, and if you don't drive often, use a battery maintainer to keep it in peak condition. Mistake number 8. Never start with a faulty immobilizer. If your car's immobilizer isn't working properly, don't ignore it. A malfunctioning immobilizer can leave you stranded, put your vehicle at risk of theft, and even drain your battery with false alarms. And if you keep forcing starts without fixing the issue, you could be looking at major repair costs down the line. Immobilizers are designed to stop unauthorized engine starts, and they're incredibly effective. Car thefts dropped by 50% in Europe after they became mandatory. But if yours isn't recognizing your key fob, your car might not start at all. Some drivers keep trying, turning the key over and over, which can wear down the battery and starter motor fast. Worse, if your immobilizer isn't working as it should, your car might become an easy target for thieves. Studies have shown that certain vehicles without proper immobilizer protection are stolen at rates up to 11 times higher than those with functioning systems. So what's the fix? If your key fob isn't being detected, don't force it. First, check the battery in your key. If that's not the issue, look for warning lights on the dashboard. Some modern vehicles will tell you if there's an immobilizer fault. If the problem persists, get it checked by a professional before it leaves you stranded. For added security, make sure your car's software is up to date. Some manufacturers, like Hyundai and Kia, have released updates that reduce theft rates significantly. If you drive an older car without an immobilizer, consider installing an aftermarket system. It's a small investment that could save you from a massive headache later. Mistake number 9. Never start your car if you smell fuel. If you catch a whiff of gasoline before starting your car, stop right there. Turning the key could lead to a fire, engine damage, or even a costly repair bill. Fuel leaks are no joke, and ignoring that smell could be one of the most dangerous mistakes you make. Gasoline is highly flammable, and even a tiny spark can ignite fuel vapors. According to the National Fire Protection Association, most vehicle fires happen in cars over 10 years old, often due to deteriorating fuel components. If there's a leak, starting your car could trigger an explosion under the hood. And if that's not bad enough, unburned fuel entering the engine can cause serious damage. A faulty fuel system can flood the engine with excess gas, leading to misfires, sluggish performance, and even overheating of the catalytic converter, an expensive part that can cost up to $2,500 to replace. The damage doesn't stop with your car. Fuel leaks contribute to air pollution, releasing harmful chemicals into the environment. Even a small leak can lead to significant emissions, making your car less eco-friendly and possibly violating local regulations. The solution? If you smell fuel before starting, don't risk it. Check under the car for leaks, inspect the fuel cap for damage, and if the odor persists, get your car towed to a mechanic. Fixing the problem early prevents fires, keeps your engine running smoothly, and saves you from a costly disaster. Mistake number 10. Never try to hotwire a car. Hotwiring a car isn't just outdated, it's dangerous, illegal, and almost guaranteed to fail. Modern vehicles are equipped with security features that make hot wiring nearly impossible, and attempting it can result in severe damage to your car's electrical system, safety risks, and even criminal charges. First off, if you're locked out or can't start your car, hot wiring isn't the answer. Most cars built after the 1990s come with transponder keys and immobilizers, meaning even if you manage to bypass the ignition, the engine won't start without the correct electronic signal. Tampering with these systems can fry your ECU, leaving you with an expensive repair bill. Even worse, messing with a car's wiring can trigger safety systems like airbags, leading to accidental deployment. A single mistake could cause serious injury, or at the very least, a costly replacement of your car's electrical components. And if you think it's worth the risk, consider the legal consequences. Hotwiring a vehicle without permission is classified as auto theft in most places, punishable by hefty fines and years in prison. Even attempting it in your own car could raise suspicions and get you into legal trouble. So what's the solution? If you've lost your keys or your car won't start, don't take shortcuts. Call roadside assistance, use a spare key, or get a professional locksmith. And if you're worried about theft, invest in extra security measures like steering wheel locks or GPS trackers. Modern problems require modern solutions. Mistake number 11. Avoid starting your car with headlights on. Your car's battery only has so much power to work with when you turn the key, and if your headlights are on, you're forcing it to work even harder. This small mistake can strain your battery, wear down your starter motor, and even hurt your fuel efficiency over time. When the engine is off, all power comes from the battery. The moment you start the car, the starter motor demands a huge surge of electricity, sometimes over 300 amps. If your headlights or other electrical systems are running, they compete for power, causing slower starts and unnecessary wear on the battery. Over time, this extra load speeds up battery degradation, reducing its lifespan and leaving you with one of the most common causes of vehicle breakdowns, a dead battery. The problem doesn't stop there. A weak battery forces the alternator to work overtime after the engine starts, increasing strain on the system and lowering fuel efficiency. The harder your alternator works, the more fuel your car burns just to keep up. The fix? Before starting your car, switch off the headlights, radio, air conditioning, and other power-hungry accessories. This gives your battery full power to crank the engine efficiently, reducing wear on the electrical system and keeping your vehicle running smoothly for longer. Mistake number 12. Skipping fluid and filter checks. Neglecting to check your car's fluids and filters before starting might seem like no big deal, until your engine seizes, your brakes fail, or your transmission starts slipping. Many drivers overlook this simple step, but skipping it can lead to costly repairs, unexpected breakdowns, and even safety hazards. When you start your car with low or dirty engine oil, critical moving parts grind against each other, leading to premature wear and possible engine failure. Replacing a seized engine can cost upwards of $4,000, while routine oil changes over 100,000 miles only cost around $1,100. Do the math. It's not just oil. Low transmission fluid can cause rough shifting or even total transmission failure. Contaminated coolant can lead to overheating, a cracked engine block, and a repair bill you don't want. And let's not forget the brakes. Neglecting brake fluid maintenance can lead to sluggish stopping power, increasing the risk of accidents. Even something as small as a dirty air filter can cause major issues. Clogged filters force your engine to work harder, lowering fuel efficiency and potentially leading to oxygen sensor failure, a $250 repair. The fix? Take a quick minute to check your engine oil, coolant, brake fluid, and transmission fluid before starting, especially on long trips. Look for leaks under the car, check your air filter, and make sure your belts and hoses aren't cracked or damaged. A little attention now saves thousands later and keeps your car running safely and smoothly. Up next, one small mistake that quietly wears down your car's most essential parts until the day it refuses to start at all. Mistake number 13. Ignoring weather-specific startup precautions. Cold, heat, or rain. Each one can turn a routine engine start into a costly mistake if you're not paying attention. Freezing temperatures can thicken your oil, making it harder for the engine to lubricate itself properly, increasing friction and accelerating wear. A battery loses about 30% of its charge at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and up to 60% at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why winter mornings are filled with cars struggling to start. If you don't let your engine run for at least 30 seconds before driving, you're forcing cold, sluggish oil to do a job it isn't ready for, increasing wear on critical parts. Hot weather brings a different set of issues, and one of the worst things you can do is start a car when the engine is already overheating. Temperatures under the hood can exceed 220 degrees Fahrenheit in extreme heat, and an already stressed cooling system can fail completely if you ignore the signs. Overheating can warp cylinders, destroy head gaskets, and lead to engine failure that costs thousands to repair. If you've been parked in the sun or notice the temperature gauge rising, don't just start the car and hope for the best. Check the coolant level before turning the key, and if the engine is hot, let it cool down completely before starting again. Skipping regular oil changes in high temperatures is another common mistake. Heat breaks down oil faster, making it lose its protective qualities. If you're driving in a hot climate, switching to a high-temperature rated oil and sticking to the manufacturer's recommended oil change schedule is essential to avoid premature engine wear. Rain and humidity create their own problems, particularly with the ignition system. Moisture can seep into spark plugs, ignition coils, or the distributor cap, leading to rough starts or misfires. Drivers who start their car after it's been sitting in damp conditions without checking for wet ignition components can end up with a car that struggles to start or stalls unexpectedly. If your car hesitates or stutters when you turn the key, pop the hood and check for moisture on ignition parts before trying again. Wet roads also mean wet brakes. If you've driven through standing water, the brake rotors may be slick, reducing stopping power. Before getting on the road, tap the brakes gently a few times at low speed to help evaporate moisture and restore normal function. No matter the weather, starting your car the wrong way can mean more than just an inconvenience. It can lead to premature engine wear, battery failure, and expensive repairs. Mistake number 14. Don't crank the starter for too long. Holding the key in the start position for too long might seem harmless, but it's a fast way to burn out your starter, drain your battery, and wear down your engine. If your car doesn't start within a few seconds, cranking longer won't help. It only makes things worse. Here's the real danger. Cranking for more than 7 seconds overheats the starter motor, putting extra stress on its internal parts. Over time, this can cause complete failure, leaving you with a car that won't start and an expensive repair bill. Starters aren't designed to run continuously, they work best in short bursts. And that's not all. Every time you turn the key, your battery provides a huge power surge to the starter. If you keep cranking, you're draining your battery faster than it can recharge. Do this often enough, and you'll shorten its lifespan, forcing you to replace it sooner than expected. Even your engine isn't safe. Prolonged cranking puts extra strain on the flywheel and bearings, causing unnecessary wear and potential long-term damage. And if your engine is struggling to start, there's probably an issue with your fuel or ignition system. Excessive cranking won't fix it, but it will waste fuel and increase emissions. So what's the right move? Keep cranking attempts to 5 to 7 seconds. If the engine doesn't start, wait a few seconds before trying again. If it still won't start after 3 or 4 tries, stop and check for underlying issues like a weak battery, bad spark plugs, or a fuel problem. For the next one, let's just say if you ever catch this smell before starting your car, turning the key could be the worst decision you make. We're almost at the number 1 mistake, and trust me, it is the one that could cost you the most if you don't fix it now. Mistake number 15. Avoid starting your car when the battery warning light is on. If your battery warning light is on, don't ignore it. Starting your car in this condition could lead to engine stalling, electrical failures, or even a dead battery when you least expect it. That small red light on your dashboard is your car's way of telling you there's a problem, and ignoring it can lead to costly consequences. Here's the real issue. The battery light doesn't just mean a weak battery, it signals a problem in the entire charging system. If your alternator isn't working properly, your battery won't recharge, leading to rapid power loss and even a stalled engine while driving in heavy traffic or at high speeds. This could be dangerous. And it's not just about getting stranded. Your car relies on electrical power for essential functions. If the battery warning light is on and you start the car anyway, you're risking a full electrical shutdown, leaving you without critical systems when you need them most. Even worse, forcing a start when the alternator is failing can overload it, causing voltage spikes that damage sensitive components like the ECU. Repairs for a fried ECU can cost between $1,000 and $3,000, far more than simply addressing a weak battery before it turns into a major issue. So what's the fix? If the battery light is on, don't start your car right away. First, check for loose or corroded battery terminals, inspect the alternator belt, and test the battery voltage if you have the tools. If the light stays on, get your car checked by a professional before it leaves you stranded or facing an expensive repair bill. Mistake number 16. Ignoring unusual noises before starting your car. If your car makes an unexpected sound before or during startup, that's not just a quirk, it's a mechanical warning. Ignoring it can mean serious engine damage, electrical failure, or even a complete breakdown. Take piston slap, for example. If your cold start is accompanied by a hollow, rhythmic sound, it means your pistons aren't fitting snugly inside the cylinders, slamming against the walls instead. This problem is common in older vehicles and some high-performance engines, but letting it persist can wear down the cylinder walls, leading to loss of compression and oil consumption issues. Repairs? Expect to pay thousands for an engine rebuild if left unchecked. Then there's low-speed pre-ignition, LSPI, an aggressive knocking noise that occurs when fuel ignites prematurely under high pressure in turbocharged engines. This violent misfire doesn't just create sound, it sends pressure spikes through your engine, breaking pistons, bending connecting rods, and leaving your car in worse shape than a bad street race crash. Manufacturers have been battling LSPI for years, and if you hear a regular knocking at low speeds, turning off the car and getting it checked could save your engine. If you hear a high-pitched whine or rapid clicking, your starter motor might be failing. The starter has one job: to crank the engine and bring it to life. When it struggles, it can overheat and damage the flywheel, which means a costly repair that could have been avoided. And if you hear a sudden sharp clunk followed by silence, it could be something even worse: hydrolock. If coolant or water has leaked into your engine cylinders, the piston has nowhere to go, and forcing the engine to turn over could snap a connecting rod or even crack the engine block. That's an instant ticket to a completely ruined engine. Another dangerous noise? A metallic pinging or knocking sound, a sign of detonation. This happens when the air-fuel mixture ignites unevenly, sending shock waves through the engine. Prolonged knocking can cause pistons to melt, cylinder heads to crack, and even blow a hole straight through the engine. Modern cars have knock sensors to reduce the risk, but if the sound doesn't go away, it's a serious problem that needs immediate attention. So if your engine doesn't sound normal, don't brush it off. Listen, identify, and take action before a simple noise turns into an irreversible problem. Now that you know the 16 worst ways to start your car, let's make sure you're driving the right one in the first place. Some cars are built to last, while others will drain your wallet with repairs.